afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Hopkinton High School turf fields. Tom Nappy on the call for this JV football matchup between the Hopkinton Hillers and the Ashland Clockers. John Ritz on camera here on a nice sunny but windy day. The wind will certainly have an impact in today's game as we have a steady breeze going on, and you can certainly hear it in the microphone as well. Hopkinton won the coin toss, and they will receive. Ashland set to kick it away. Right to left across your screen. And we are underway. Like number 15 kicked off. He is not listed on the Ashland roster I have, but it is going to be a Hopkinton return up to about the 30-yard line. So the Hillers will start from their own 30 and work left to right across your television. The Hillers won their last JV game against Holliston here at home. An 8-6 final in that one. Safety being the only difference in the game. It was a great defensive battle. And we'll see what the Hillers have today, as they are going to line it up out of the gun to start things off. And the snap is taken by Wyatt Stevens, and it's going to be a good run all the way to about the 43. So right off the bat, they'll move the sticks, and a first down for the Hillers. So a 13-yard pickup on the play. They will line it up once again out of the gun. And it's going to be another pitch here over to Joseph Carazza. And he's good for a couple this time. We'll bring up second down and about 8 to go. Certainly going to be a factor. I think you'll see a lot of the run game from both of these teams today. As Stevens goes back out to the huddle. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun with Carazza to his left. It's a 4-receiver set with 3 lined up to his left. And he's going to take this one himself. Here he goes over the far side. And the play is blown dead. It looks like we're going to get a flag here. And this one is likely coming back. Looks like we'll have a false start on the Hillers. We'll get the official word. They will indeed push them back 5. So that'll make it a 2nd and 15 to go. In the varsity matchup, Ashland took down the Hillers in a close one this past Saturday. That game was at Ashland. Friends over at WACA TV had coverage of that game. We're excited. We'll have Hillers varsity action this Saturday on HCAM as they welcome in Medfield. Stevens is going to drop back to pass, play action, rolls to his right and doesn't get very far. Knocked out of bounds along the near side. There to make the stop for Ashland was an unlisted number 33. We'll do our best with the Ashland roster. It is the varsity roster that we have here. But typically, you'll see a lot of the players on the varsity roster participate in this game. Back to the line goes the Hillers. Stevens going to line it up. Out of the gun with a back to his left. 3 receivers spread out to his left, with the lone flanker to his right. Calls it out, takes the snap, looks to his left, throws to his left, has a target, and it's caught in Ashland territory, and that should be enough for the first down right around the Ashland 40-yard line. Coming up with the reception, that was Braden Hicks, the sophomore. Nice play there by the Hillers. Good for about a 20-yard pickup on the reception. And good enough to move the chains and make it a 1st and 10 in Ashland territory at the 40. Stevens lined up out of the gun, back to his right. 2 receivers either side. Calls it out, takes the snap, hands it off. It's going to be a run up the left side. All kinds of room found by Colby Lave-Lynette. And he's close to another first down. It looks like they're going to give it to him. And they'll mark this one right at the 28-yard line. A pickup of 12 yards by Lave-Lynette. To the line goes the Hillers, working quickly here as they have something going. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun, back to his right. 2 receivers either side, hands it off to Lave-Lynette. Lave-Lynette cutting through the middle, finding some room, and up to the 20-yard line he goes. Lave-Lynette made something out of nothing there. It looked like he was going to be stopped dead in his tracks, but was able to slip a couple tackles and pick up several yards. Ball marked at the 19-yard line. And it is 2nd down and about 2 yards to go for the Hillers. Stevens out of the gun once again. Lave-Lynette to his right. 2 receivers either side. Takes the snap. Hands it off. Lave-Lynette up the middle. And it looks like he may have enough. This is going to be close. Looks like maybe a little bit short. About a yard, maybe a little more than a yard short there by Lave-Lynette. Brings up 3rd down and looks like about 2 yards to go for the Hillers. Back to the line they go. Stevens out of the gun. It's a 2-back set this time. He had Lave-Lynette to his right and an up back. And he'll go to the up back. And that is going to be taken into the end zone for a touchdown. Joseph Carazza with the touchdown for the Hillers, and they are up 6-0, an 18-yard touchdown run. A great drive strung together by the Hillers. Unfortunately, the clock is off here on the scoreboard, but I'd imagine that ate up a good chunk of time of this first quarter. Now we'll see if they attempt the extra point or perhaps go for 2. Looks like they do have the offense out there. And they are going to attempt 2. Stevens out of the gun. And he'll go once again to Carazza, who will bounce off tackle and Did he get in? Yes, he did. It's an 8-0 lead for the Hillers. So the 2-point conversion is good, and Hopkinton in business up 8-0 here in the first quarter of this JV matchup. Joseph Karatza getting the job done. He had over 30 rushing yards on that drive. And Colby Lavelinette had a few good runs as well. He had 20 yards. And there was a big 20-yard reception to Braden Hicks. So the Hillers will kick off left to right. Handling the kicking duties, that is Avery Ravitch. And the ball blew off the tee. Wind will be a factor in this game, but it certainly wasn't much of a factor for the Hillers on that first drive. They got the run game going and a nice 20-yard reception. And the kickoff is going to be a nice high sailing kickoff all the way back to about the 10-yard line. We're going to have a good return, however, up to the 42 or 43 is the return. And we'll get a look at this Ashland Clockers JV offense for the first time today. Ashland working right to left. They'll start off with a run. And on that first play, they pick up about 2 or 3. Bring up second down for the Clockers, and about 7 to go. Line it up out of the pistol. It's going to be another run here. And maybe a yard or so there. Once again, unfortunately, we don't have the Ashland JV roster, so we're not too sure how many players we'll be able to name, but we'll certainly do our best. In any case, that brings up third down and about 6 to go for the Clockers. Up this time out of the gun, and it's a throw up the middle. Good defensive play there. Breaking it up was Andrew Budden, the sophomore. That brings up fourth down for the Clockers. Well, you're towards midfield. Will they go for it? We shall see. Looks like they do have a punter out there. They are indeed going to kick it away. A bit of a high snap, and it's going to be a short, wobbly punt, but take a Ashland roll all the way back to about the 30. Hillers will get it back. Hopkinton will try to string together another drive like they had to start this game. They went 70 yards on their opening drive. And the result, of course, was the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Hillers working left to right. They're going to line it up out of the gun. And it's going to be a run to the near side. Not much room there for Carazza, maybe a yard. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9 to go for the Hillers. Robert Lisher in there as the quarterback for this drive. And he'll line it up out of the pistol this time. He'll take it himself. And he'll be brought down after about another yard there. That's typically what the Hillers do with their JV team. Wyatt Stevens lead the offense for a drive, then bring out Robert Lisher. Bring up 3rd down and about 9 to go. Lisher going to line it up out of the gun with a back to his right. 2 receivers spread out to either side. Takes the snap, he'll hand it off. Some room up the middle. Pretty good run there by Lave Lynette, but he will be well short of the 1st down. A 4-yard pickup by Lave Lynette. That brings up 4th down for the Hillers. So they'll likely punt it away here, but then again, you never know. It's one of the benefits at the JV level. You can obviously have some fun out there and go for it in situations you may not typically do so at the varsity level. Lisher is out there, but he is also the punter at times. We'll see if he boots it away, and he will. And a pretty good punt. End over end it goes, and now it's going to take a nice Hillers roll all the way back to the 33. So a job well done there by Lisher on the punt. And Ashland will start from their own 33-yard line. Their 2nd drive of the game. And it looks like that is going to do it for the 1st quarter of play. After 1, it is Hopkinton 8, Ashland nothing. 2nd quarter coming up next on HCAM. And welcome back into the Hopkinton High School turf fields. We are ready for the 2nd quarter. We have switched sides, an 8-0 lead for the Hillers. Ashland has possession to start this quarter off after they forced a 3 and out. And we're going to get a run here that'll go nowhere. Great stop by the Hillers defense. That's that's going to be about a 3-yard loss. Make that a little more than 3 yards. It looks like they marked them back about 6. So that'll bring up 2nd and 16 to go for Ashland. Line it up out of the gun. Back to the quarterback's left. He'll throw it, and it's intercepted, and it's going to be taken up the far side. And with the interception, it is Paul Lisher, the sophomore. And the Hillers will have some very good field possession here. Lisher with the pick, and the Hillers are marked, looks like inside the 5. So we'll likely see some run attempts here. Stevens is out there for the Hillers. They'll line it up out of the gun. And it is going to be a run into the end zone. An easy touchdown there after the interception for the Hillers. And that is going to make it a 14-0 lead for Hopkinton. Three-yard touchdown run. I believe it was a keeper by Stevens. And how about that? A one-play touchdown drive. Now they'll go for 2. Stevens going to line it up with a back to his right. Takes the snap. Hands it off, and it's a fumble. Ashland will recover, but that's okay. It just means the 2-point conversion, no good. But in any case, the Hillers have a 14-0 lead. And they will kick off to the Clockers. Well, so far, just a great all-around game for the Hillers. They made a nice defensive stop on Ashland's first drive, forcing a 3-and-out, and then you get almost a pick 6 by Paul Lisher, just a few yards short, but White, Stevens, and crew get the job done. And cap off the one-play, 3-yard drive. And sending it away is Avery Ravitch. And we'll do it again. I think the ball came off the tee. So we'll line it up again. We'll see if it stays this time. He's kicking against the wind right now, so that's why it's a little shorter than his last couple of kickoffs, but it is returned up to about the 40. See where they mark it. Ashland will have pretty good field position to start this drive. They'll certainly have some work to do to get back into this game. Looks like the 42-yard line is where they're going to start. first Hopkinton drive of the game that ate up most of the first quarter. We don't have the clock on, unfortunately, but I'm assuming it was about a 6 or 7 minute drive or so, and it's a run to the outside for Ashland that gets nowhere. Good stop by Joseph Carazza. He's certainly making a name for himself in this game. On the offensive side, he had a first touchdown run. And now he gets a nice tackle here that brings Ashland back for a pretty big loss. Ball marked all the way back at the 35. Loss of several yards there on the run attempt. Clowker's going to line it up out of the gun, back to the left of the quarterback. 4 receivers set, 3 to the left, takes the snap, rolls to his left, has a little bit of room, and will get some positive yardage before being brought out of bounds at around the 45. So he gets all the yardage lost on the last play back, plus some. A 10-yard gain. And my eyes deceived me a little bit there. Looks like they're at about the 43. So about an 8-yard gain. That'll make it 3rd and 8 to go for Ashland. Line it up out of the gun and takes the snap, looking upfield, in trouble, trying to roll to his left, and he's brought down. In on the stop there, that is Devin Canty. And that brings up 4th down. So you had Joe Carazza and Devin Canty get in there for big stoppages. Canty credited with the sack. Ball brought back to about the 35. They'll try to punt it away here, but now the punter running into trouble. He's going to have to keep it, and he'll be brought down, and we'll have a turnover on downs. And the Hillers will have some very good field position. Hopkinton will work right to left across your screen. It looks like they'll go with the Lisher offense for this drive. He'll take it out of the pistol, throws to his right, incomplete. Intended target was Michael Burney. Bring up 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. And that's Wyatt Stevens out there now at quarterback. He'll line it up out of the gun. Lave Lynette to his left. 2 receivers either side. He'll hand it off to Lave Lynette. Not much there. Picked up a couple. I'll bring up 3rd down for the Hillers. Officials keeping an eye on the timers. Fortunately, the scoreboard inactive today. Lisher going to line it up out of the gun. Lave Lynette is to his left. 2 receivers either side. Takes the snap. Looks to his left, and he goes to throw, and the pass was tipped, but it is caught. But it will not be enough for the first down. But a nice job there by Harrison Bograd, the junior, able to pull that one down. He's a lineman. And since the pass was tipped, it was a live ball. So he was able to do that, but that does bring up fourth down. They are in Ashland's side of the field, though, so they will likely go for it here. Ball is marked at around the 37. They ended up picking up about a yard out of that. I guess you can give Bograd the reception there. Wyatt Stevens lining up his offense, puts Slave Lynette to his right, three receivers to his right. Takes the snap, rolls to his right, looking upfield, in trouble, and he's brought down at around midfield. A big loss there of about 12 yards, and that'll be a turnover on downs. So Ashland's defense gets a big stop, and they'll have the ball at midfield. Clocker's working left to right. Lineup quarterback under center. This almost looks like the Holliston War package, flexbone type formation. They'll go the left slot back for the run. And it's going to be a good pickup here, pushing his way forward for several yards. And a nice run there by Ashland. And with the Clockers offense struggling a little bit, we might see him go to this flexbone type formation quite a bit. Especially if it continues to work like it just did on that play. Back to the line they go. They will line it up out of the flex bone. You have a man in the backfield and a slot back to either side. You don't know who it's going to. This time it goes to the up back, and he has enough for the first down. Charging ahead to about the 38, but did the ball come out? I think the Hailers are saying they have it, and it did come out, and the Hailers do have it. So a fumble on the run, and Hopkinton will have it. And you can hear that wind continuing to blow throughout this game. A nice looking day, but certainly the wind doesn't make it the most comfortable situation out here, but the wind's certainly not affecting the Hillers so far in this game. Ball is at the 38-yard line. Lisher going to hand it off, run up the middle. And to about the 45-yard line goes Owen Flanagan. About a 6-yard gain on the run. 2nd and 4. Flanagan as the running back once again. He'll line it up to the left of Wyatt Stevens. And here he goes across midfield to the 45, and he's brought down at around the 43. Another good run there by Flanagan, and that's good for 12 yards and a Hillers first down. First and 10 from the Ashland 43. Robert Lisher back out there. He'll line it up out of the gun. Flanagan to his right, two receivers either side, takes the snap, throws to his right, and he has a target hauled in. And that was Flanagan on the catch. Ran a nice little curl route up the right side seam, able to reel it in, and that'll bring up second down and about 6 to go. 4-yard pickup. Wyatt Stevens is back into the game now as the quarterback. Flanagan lined up to his left, three receivers to his left. He'll take the snap, looks upfield, and it is intercepted. There is a flag, however. Intended target was Paul Isher, and we may have some pass interference here. And it will indeed be against Ashland, so you can erase the interception. And with the pass interference call, that'll move the chains for a Hillers first down. They marked it all the way up to about the 27-yard line. So a 15-yard penalty there. Lisher going to line it up out of the gun, back to his right, and he will take this himself up the middle, find some room, charging forward, and picks up some good yardage there. Looked like he was able to get several yards. And that'll bring up second down and about 3 to go. Nice run there by Lisher. Wyatt Stevens back into the game. They're going to be switching up the quarterback constantly. And that'll certainly be pretty confusing for the defense to keep track of. Out of the gun with Flanagan to his left. He's going to take it himself. Has all kinds of room up the middle towards the end zone. And it looks like he is going to be brought down very deep in Ashland territory. Looks like right around the 5-yard line they marked him. So it ends up being about a 20-yard gain by Lisher. Out of the gun he goes, back to his left, three receivers to his left. He'll hand it off, run up the middle, and with ease into the end zone. Owen Flanagan for the Hillers touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run for Owen Flanagan. And it's now a 20-0 lead for the Hillers. As they have done all game long, they'll go for 2 here. Yeah, probably a little too windy to try those field goals. Stevens is into the game. He's going to line it up out of the gun, back to his right, takes the snap, looks upfield, throws up the middle, incomplete. Intended target was Seamus Murphy. But in any case, the Hillers have a 20-0 lead. 5-yard touchdown run by Owen Flanagan. And there's some wind for you. It is certainly pretty intense out here. Our cameraman John Ritz certainly enjoying it. And that is going to do it for the first half of play. The Hillers add on 12 points in the second quarter, and at the half they lead Ashland 20-0. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers JV football on HCAM. Second half coming up next. And welcome back into the Hopkinton High School turf fields. We are ready for the second half of this JV matchup between the Hopkinton Hillers and the Ashland Clockers. A 20-0 Hillers lead as they will get set to kick off to open up the third quarter. Yeah, Joe Carazza with a pair of touchdowns. He had the opening touchdown to start things off, an 18-yarder. And then would follow up with a 3-yard touchdown after an interception by Paul Lisher. Set up the Hillers deep in Ashland territory. And then another touchdown in the second quarter as well, pretty much towards the end of the second quarter by Owen Flanagan of 5 yards. And a pretty good kickoff by the Hillers to open up the second half. Ashland will start from their own 20. I'm sure they'll certainly try to get some momentum going offensively in this third quarter. They just have had trouble finding room against this Hillers stout defense. Line it up out of the pistol. It's going to be a handoff to the up back. Yard or two there. It'll bring up second down. Good amount of people on hand here. Of course, it's limited crowds, home fans only. 2 home fans are invited per player. But some good football weather. The wind may be a little much at times, but certainly not too bad with the sun shining bright along the field. And a good run here. That is close to a first down. May have had enough. And the chains will indeed move. An 8-yard run. That'll bring up 1st and 10 from the 30. To the line the Clockers go as they're trying to get something going here. Down 20-0. Another run up the middle. This one good for a couple. 33 with the carry once again. Unfortunately, they didn't have the JV names available, but we'll at least give you the number. Brings up second down and 7. Is the quarterback for Ashland. He'll take the snap out of the gun. In trouble in the backfield, able to get rid of it just before he's brought down. Good pressure by the Hillers defensive front. Justin Sokol and Hunter Petrucci-Bissonette getting in there for the pressure. And that'll bring up third down and several to go for Ashland. Out of the gun once again. Back to his right, 2 receivers either side. Takes a snap, airs it out to his left. And it's batted down. Good defensive coverage by Seamus Murphy. And it was a good throw by the Ashland quarterback. His target nearly had it, but Murphy able to just get that hand up and knock it down. bring up 4th down for Ashland, and we'll see if they end up going for it here. Looks like they do have their punter in there, so they may boot it away here. Takes the snap, and he will punt it away. We'll go back to about the Hillers 40, and here comes the return. On the return, Tyler Mulvaney, not able to get too much room there, but in any case, the Hillers get the ball back. And they'll have good field position, too, to start this drive. They'll start from their own 40. Robert Lisher in there at quarterback. He's going to line it up out of the gun, back to his left. 2 receivers either side. Takes a snap, looks to his left, throws to his left, and it's dropped by his intended target, Michael Burney. Just went right through his hands there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Wyatt Stevens into the game now for the Hillers. Well, they've been switching it up between Lisher and Stevens pretty much every play, and it's worked well for them. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun, back to his left. 2 receivers either side. Moving over to his right now is Karatza. Takes the snap, pulls it down, tries to take it himself, and a good stop by the Ashland defense. They'll bring him down for a loss of a couple. Ashland was ready for that one. Third down and about 13 to go for the Hillers. Don't forget, this Saturday on HCAM at 1:30 p.m. we'll have Hillers varsity football. Our first look at the varsity team as they take on Medfield, as we have a complete pass here into Ashland territory to Seamus Murphy. Good throw there by Lisher as he connects with Murphy. Ball marked at the Ashland 49. Pickup of about 13 yards on the connection. And a new set of downs for the Hillers. Stevens going to line it up out of the gun, back to his left. 2 receivers either side. And he will take the snap, rolls to his right. A little bit of pressure coming his way. Gets rid of it, incomplete. He was looking for Michael Burney. Pretty nice job getting rid of it there with the pressure coming in. 2nd and 10 for Hopkinton. Robert Lisher, the quarterback. 3 receivers lined up to his left. High snap, gets away from him. Loose ball, Ashland recovers. It was just a little bit too high there. Lisher couldn't get to it. And a big break for Ashland. They'll have the ball in Hopkinton territory. Start this drive from the Hillers' 45-yard line. He'll go out of the pistol this time, run up the middle, and some Good yardage there, about a 5-yard pickup. .33 getting the carry there once again for Ashland. Brings up 2nd and 5 to go. And they'll go out of the gun this time. Do we have a timeout? Looks like we do. So timeout on the field. We're in the 3rd quarter. A 20-0 Hillers lead. They had a 70-yard opening drive and a 2-point conversion. Start off with an 8-0 lead and would later add on a 3-yard touchdown run by Karatza in the 2nd quarter. And then just before the end of the 1st half, a 5-yard touchdown from Owen Flanagan. First time out of the game we've seen for either team. Out of the pistol this time, low snap, fakes the handoff, looks upfield, and it's incomplete. It was a good pass in the direction of number 80, but he just could not reel it in. Andrew Budden on coverage. That brings up 3rd and 5 to go for Ashland. At this point in the game, you'd imagine if they're unsuccessful here at moving the chains, they'll go for it on 4th down. We'll have more Hillers sports tonight. Hillers swimming hits the pool at Milford High School. You can catch live coverage on HCAM and our YouTube channel at 7 p.m. tonight. Motion from left to right. Takes the snap, and it's going to be a run up the middle. And it looks like he may have had enough for the 1st down. And will indeed move the chains. A good run there. Brings up 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Six-yard pickup on the last run. Out of the gun. 2 receivers lined up to either side. Takes the snap, airs it out to his right, and it's caught. And that is going to be a 35-yard touchdown pass for Ashland. And that is just what they needed there. That'll make it a 20-6 game. Looks like it was number 45 who caught that for Ashland. "35-yard touchdown pass, great connection there, and a very well run route as well. They're going to try to run it in for 2, and the 2-point conversion is good. So Ashland picking up a little bit of steam here, making it a 20-8 game. Clockers will kick it away. Well, they needed a big connection to pretty much stay in the game, and they got it. They're right in this thing. I'm sure the Hillers' offensive scheme is going to be try to burn as much clock as possible. We're towards the end of the third quarter here. We'll have a return from about the 20 along the far side, and it's going to be a very nice return by Eric Tojian. There's that wind again. Hillers are going to start from their own 40. After about a 20-yard kickoff return. Wyatt Stevens is in the game. He's lined up out of the gun. And that may have signaled the end of the quarter. Or no, it looks like they're going to move the Hillers back. Delay a game, I believe, was the call. So they are pushed back 5. Stevens out of the gun. Back to his left is Lave Lynette. Two receivers on either side. Hands it off to Lave Lynette, and he doesn't get very far. Another good takedown by the Ashland defense. That's a loss of a couple yards there. Hillers need to get to midfield to move the chains. So it is second and about 17 to go for Hopkinton. Stevens out of the gun, back to his left, and he will hand it off, and it's going to be a run up to about the 40, or make that 35, excuse me. Pickup of about 3. Brings up third down and 15 to go for the Hillers. Stevens out of the gun, back to his right, 3 receivers to his right. He'll hand it off. And it's a run up the left side, hash marks. And we'll have a flag on the play. Some extracurricular activity. And it will be against the Hillers, it looks like. So this is going to push them way back. To move all the way back to the 25-yard line. So perhaps a little bit of frustration by Hopkinton. So that brings up 4th and 25 to go. I'd imagine they'd punt it away here, but you never know. They do have Robert Lisher out there, who is their punter, so likely that is what they'll do. Snap and the kick. Wobbly kick, and it's going to take a nice Hillers roll. Past the 35, past the 30. And it doesn't get any better than that in that situation. Ashland will start from their own 27. And it looks like that is going to be the end of the third quarter. We will switch sides. And the Clockers able to find the end zone and get a two-point conversion to have some life as we head into the fourth quarter of this JV matchup coming up next on HCAM. We have switched ends and we are ready for the fourth quarter. Ashland working left to right across your screen from about their own 27-yard line. A 20-8 Hillers lead. Hopkinton scoreless in the second half so far. And it's going to be a pass attempt here up the middle, incomplete. Nearly at his target. Intended for number 28. And expect Ashland to throw a whole lot here in this fourth quarter as they need a couple scores to get back into this game. That brings up 2nd and 10. Go out of the gun, and it'll be a run up the middle, and it's going to be a good run coming towards the near side, and enough for the first down is number 33, and it looks like he marched all the way up to the 42-yard line. 15-yard pickup on the run, and Ashland is in business. Clocker's going to have to hurry it up here. Time's certainly not on their side. Out of the gun, it's a run up the middle. And not much there, maybe a couple. A 2-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 8. Out of the gun they go, and we're going to have a timeout. Clockers want to talk things over, facing a 2nd and 8 from their own 44-yard line. They'll likely be hurry-up offense from here on out. Hillers had the first 20 points of the game. Opening drive touchdown in the first quarter, and then another pair of rushing touchdowns in the second quarter, and then Ashland in the third quarter able to find the end zone on a 35-yard connection. Nice pass and a nice catch to give Ashland a little bit of hope here. And don't forget, we have Hillers varsity swimming tonight, 7 p.m. on HCAM Ed, as well as our YouTube channel. Then we'll have volleyball tomorrow, the JV2 game starting at 3:30, JV1 at 4:45, and the varsity game at 6 p.m. as the Hillers take on Westwood. Off the timeout, out of the gun, takes the snap, rolls to his right, and it is going to be a keeper here. Not many other options. He is able to turn it into a positive gain. Picks up a couple. That brings up 3rd down and 4 to go for Ashland. Certainly expect him to go for it here on 4th down if they don't convert on this play. Out of the gun, takes the snap, and it's going to be another keeper here. And he is going to have enough as he works his way into Hillers territory. Push out of bounds along the near side at the 41-yard line. A good gain there on the keeper. A 14-yard gain that turns into. Line it up out of the gun once again. I believe that Shea Donovan in there is back to his right. Takes the snap, going to air it out up the left side, and it is caught. A big gain there for Ashland. All the way up to, looks to be inside the 5. Looks like about the 2-yard line. That is a 39-yard connection. The Clocker is certainly not ready to give in just yet. They'll go out of the flex bone here. And we're going to have a flag. Is that going to push him back? And it will indeed. Ashland jumped the gun. And that'll push them back to the 7. That is a costly false start there, especially in this situation, being down 2 scores. So 1st and goal now from the 7. Out of the gun they go. Takes the snap, looking into the end zone, up the middle. And that was batted down. That'll bring up 2nd down. Good defensive play. I believe getting in there for the Hillers, that was Michael Burney. Ashland has had some pretty good pass attempts today for sure. Out of the pistol this time, and it's going to be a run up the middle. And a gain of a couple. Looks like he got to about the 4-yard line that time. So that'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 3. And they'll go flex bone, or as Holliston calls it, the war package. And do we have a fumble here? It looks like at least a stop for no gain. And we do! A fumble recovered by the Hillers. A big-time turnover there. And that could perhaps seal the deal for Hopkinton. That fumble recovered all the way at about the 2-yard line. But the Hillers will take it. Well, you'll see a whole lot of the Hillers' run game at this point. But the Hopkinton defense coming up huge again. Run up the middle, good for about a yard. Karatza on the carry. I'll bring up 2nd and about 8 to go. The Hillers, they're certainly going to let the clock count down as much as possible. That Ashland drive did take up a good chunk of this 4th quarter. And it's going to be a sweep up the far side and a good run here. Close to the first down goes Karatza. Did he get enough? Yes, he did. But an 8-yard gain for Karatza. The chains move and the Hillers in business. That is 1st and 10 from about the 17-yard line. Lisher in there at quarterback. Both Robert Lisher and Wyatt Stevens have both done a good job under center today. Lisher going to line it up with a man in the backfield. He'll pitch it back over to Karatza, and here he comes up the near side. 1st down plus some, fighting his way forward. And a 20-plus yard gain there by Karatza. All the way to the 31-yard line he goes. But a 16-yard gain. And Operation Burn Clock working out well for the Hillers. Started this drive all the way back from their 2-yard line. Fumble recovery by the Hillers defense. And they are keeping that clock moving. Out of the gun was Stevens, and it's Karatza once again, and he'll fight his way for a couple of yards. I'll bring up 2nd and about 7 to go. Good tough run there by Joseph Karatza, the sophomore, who I think in future years you'll see a whole lot at the varsity level. Certainly very promising talent up and down this JV roster. Robert Lisher in there at quarterback. Lined up out of the gun. And back to his right is Lave Lynette. Takes the snap. Here goes Lave Lynette. And he is able to break a couple of tackles and gain about 3 yards there. And that is going to do it. The Hiller is able to burn out the clock And they will take the win over the Ashland Clockers by a final score of 20-8. A good all-around game by the Hillers. The defense had a few big plays. The offense made some great plays in both the run game and the pass game. And a good win by this Hillers JV team over a very talented Ashland team. For John Ritz on camera, I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for watching Hopkinton Hillers JV football on HCAM. The final score for the final time, the Hopkinton Hillers take down the Ashland Clockers by a final score of 20-8. As always, thanks for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon.